Okay, hey everyone. Today, yet another tutorial. Tutorials coming out of my ears lately, but we all learn something from tutorials, right? So today we're going to do on ND filters. Now these come in really good use for bright sunny days, and to sum it up in a nutshell, ND filters are sunglasses, which I haven't got mine on, sunglasses for your camera lens. So you want to set your frames per second, what you're going to shoot in. I like to shoot in 60, but we're going to shoot 30 frames per second here just for the sake of the tutorial. Now, whenever you use your ND filters, which I have Freewell filters just here, so I've got a set of 4, and I'm using a DJI Air 3, so these filters are really cool because I've got the dual camera system. I've got the wide angle lens, 24mm wide angle lens, and also the 70mm telephoto. They got, see that properly there? Yeah. Different grading filters for each lens. So starts off with the ND8 for the wide angle and ND16, so that comes as one setting, one lens cover, I should say. Then we got the ND16, ND32, then the 64 and the 128. The other one that you can see in there is just the standard non-filter lens cover. So there's no actual lens cover on it at the moment. Sorry, you're talking to my belly there, or hearing me but seeing my belly. Apologies for that, people. As always, give you nightmares for days. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, now you don't want to shoot with your ND filters in auto, and shooting pro is always much preferable. So we're going to put it in pro. Now, as soon as I did that, you can see that it's totally overexposed. So when you before you even put your filter on, you want to dial in your settings. So the sun's right over there. So we're not going to be shooting directly into the sun. That's just total white out there. So you can see that it's so 4K 30 frames per second, so you double the frame rate, the 180 rule, so we'll go into that. You want to shoot, if you're shooting at 30 frames per second, the 180 rule dictates that your shutter speed will be 1/60th. If you're shooting at 60 frames per second, it'll be 1/20th shutter speed, etc. Okay, so we're shooting at 30 frames per second, so my shutter speed is at 160, and you can see it's totally overexposed. So we're going to start off on the lowest filter. So we got the ND8, so we're going to pop that on and see what kind of a difference it makes to the exposure. Okay, now look at that. Already that's made a great difference, but it's still a little bright, I feel. Now, especially if I turn the drone around, which is not in the air either, by the way. You can see now that's facing the sun. It's still pretty bright. It's, my evaluation meter is saying it's overexposed by 2.3. Now, I just swing it back around to where it was. Now it's 1.7 overexposed, the evaluation meter, not Mark Marquez. I'm going to take that one off. I think that's a little bit not enough sunglass power. So we're going to go to the ND16 32. So the 16 is what we're using at the moment because that's the wide angle lens. And look at that, that's brought it right down. And now, really good colour there. I would be happy to fly with that. But let's swing it around towards the sun and see what it looks like. Okay, so before when I swung the drone around with the ND8 filter on, you could make out some things, but it was still very overexposed. Now you can see a whole lot more, but still very bright, and you can see the evaluation meter is now +2. So we want to get that evaluation meter down to 0 or 0.3 either side. So anyway, we're taking this one off. So that was the ND16 filter. So now we're going to give the ND32 filter a chance to show its magic. So on with the show, this is it. And look at that, that is brilliant. Nailed it. Now, like I said, you want to get that evaluation meter, which I'll just bring that up, down to around 0 or 0.3 either side. So I'm at positive 0.3. But look, it's just brought the colour up really, really good. And that's spot on. It's not always easy with this 180 rule. People say, oh, just double your shutter speed. But sometimes you may have to go up to 1/80th shutter speed, and then that kind of, you know, like makes a mockery of the 180 rule if you do that. It's all about smooth transition. So we're just going to swing this around into the sun, and it's brought it up at 1.3. All right, so just for the sake of experimental purposes in this little tutorial, I'm going to put my last filter on. So that's the 32. We're putting the strongest one I've got on for the wide angle lens, and that's the ND64, and you can see that that's brought at negative 0.7 in my evaluation meter, the MM down the bottom there, as you can see. The right filter for these circumstances would be the 32. Now it's afternoon sun here, which isn't the best time to be flying a drone, but I'm really, and look at that, magic, right on 0, the optimal setting that you want. Take it over here, just so I can launch it. The grass is very long. Okay, you ready, buddy? Let's fly. I'm going to turn the drone around though and fly out over the little boat harbour here, and it's all right. Nice and smooth. I'm in hand mode, going to put it in cine mode now. Now up high, cine mode isn't that fantastic at height, so I'm going to bring it down rather rapidly. Right over the water, not into the water. And swing around, and there we go. It's that simple. Okay, people, and that's as easy as it is. A worthy investment, especially if you're filming things in the middle of the day. You can't do anything about the sun. It's always going to be there. Bright days. Invest in some ND filters. Get some quality ones. The ones I use Freewell. I have used other ones, more expensive ones on the Mini 3 Pro, which I will do a tutorial on that, a different one altogether, because the filters are much different. But these Freewell filters are very affordable. My 4 filters cost about $60 Australian dollars anyway, and they've come in really handy. The higher the filter, the more longer exposure you can use, and they're not just great for video, they are really, really good for photos, especially if you're photographing water, moving water, waterfalls. You just get that real silky look about them. And if you chuck on like a big filter like an ND1000, then your photographic skills or your editing skills are just going to go through the roof, and people are just going to get wow when they look at your photos. But anyway, that's easy. Hope you've enjoyed it. And once again, if you've liked it, please give the thumbs up. As always, much appreciated. I'll see you next time.